What's up, everyone? It's Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're going to look at the college football scene a little bit. We've got our first domino to fall in the college football coaching carousel, and we're going to look at that today. If it's your first time here, I'm glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching more videos, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. All right, let's not waste any more time. Yep, that's right. The very first domino has fallen. The coaching carousel for the 2019 season has begun, and the first one to fall is Willie Taggart. Now, Willie Taggart wasn't even given 2 seasons at Florida State, but the fact of the matter is really, unfortunately for Willie, I think that his tenure there at Florida State was doomed from the beginning. And it really all started for me back when he was hired. It was really weird because he was the coach at Oregon, and in all reality, he was running an okay program there, and the expectations were high, and people were excited about the program, but really that year that he was there, they really didn't really take it to the next level that you would kind of expect. And really the kicker there was the fact that Oregon, when he left, it was like, okay. And it's like, they didn't even miss him when he left, and when Cristobal came in, he just took over, and they haven't looked back since. And so that was kind of the first thing to me that was just kind of off and weird. And then the things just kind of kept rolling. So he gets in there, and it is just a mess. It's a mess last year. They go 5-7. It's the first time in literally 4 decades that they've missed making a bowl. And this is a team that is recruited in the top 5, sometimes top 10 for forever. So they've got talent across the board. There isn't any way, especially in the ACC, they shouldn't be walking in their sleep to a bowl game. So for them not to make a bowl, you're kind of like, that's there's something off and wrong here. But also, too, I guess you could, there was turmoil before Jimbo Fisher left, and maybe Jimbo kind of knew something everybody else didn't, that, that the culture or, kind of what was going on there around the atmosphere around Florida State really wasn't that good. But you kind of give the guy a pass for the first year. All right, let's see what's going on. He brings in Kendall Briles, and Kendall Briles right now, if you ask me, is probably one of the hottest and brightest minds in the offensive scheme of things in college football right now. What he did there at FAU with Kiffin and all that was pretty awesome to see them, that offense run and click, because they really gave a lot of people fits. And I think losing him was a big deal for them. But so he's there, and it just doesn't click. And you watch them, and it was real weird. It was just kind of a dysfunctional situation the whole way around, especially this year. It's like they're playing down to teams that they should be whooping up on, and but they're not disciplined. They're making stupid penalties. You're watching them. It's not consistent, and they don't have any quarterback play whatsoever. And that was one thing that was really weird to me, is that, like, you don't go out and get a quarterback in your recruiting class. Like, that's just like one thing that you do. Like, there are other positions that you might not bring anybody in on a year, but a quarterback's not one, especially in this scheme of things and where this whole situation is at. That's not one of those things that I just don't bring in. I mean, one of the guys could get ticked off, and he's going to be your guy. Is going to be the guy next year, and he'll often leave and go in the transfer pool, and then you'll be stuck with nothing. And the 2 years that he was, quote unquote, the recruiting head coach, he didn't bring in a quarterback at all. So I'm kind of looking at that, and that's kind of one of those kind of weird things that you're like, man, you should have went out and got one, but whatever. Still questionable play. You got guys quitting on you. I mean, it's really weird. Like I said, they're playing down to other teams, and you can tell that they've got more talent than the other teams. The talent's just not showing up on the field for whatever reason. He's just lacking in the leadership. And so right now they're sitting at 4-4, and I'm sorry, they're sitting at 4-5, and they could easily miss a bowl game, and they could probably go 6-6 with the rest of their schedule the way it is. I could see them winning 2 of those games. They could actually win 3 of those games if they actually got, if he could have actually gotten the guys to play, and they might still actually throughout the rest of the season might end up making a bowl and maybe even finishing out with a winning record. Who knows? But they decide to let him go, and I think another domino that fell is the AD that hired him is no longer there. And so, kind of the person that would be there to shield him, to kind of stand in the place for him is not there. This AD doesn't have the ties to him. And so it really just is kind of a bad situation altogether. I mean, this is how bad it is, all right? The boosters don't want you there. And I will say this, Florida State, the boosters have a lot of control. And I can tell you they have a lot of control when you've got a guy, when you're on the line to pay this guy $17 million and they all just pony up and write checks so you can get rid of this guy. That's how much these boosters have, one, in their pockets, and two, how much control they have. But it's bad when you've got the fans. I'm talking about the fans. When you're there, it's game day, and you've got a little kid who is selling lemonade to raise funds to buy you out. That's terrible. I'm sorry. When you got a little kid who don't even want you there anymore, it just was not a good situation for him, and I'm glad it's done and over with. Do I like to see that happen to a coach? No. But the fact of the matter is the writing was on the wall. Writing was on the wall probably from day one. And, you feel bad for him. Now, granted, he's going to have his money. I mean, there'll be you guys out there that, say this, but this is the guy's livelihood. I mean, the fact of the matter is, take what you love to do, and, it's what you do. You're good at it, and yeah, you're going to get money, but you can't do what you love to do. You're going to have to sit and wait out for a while before you can do what you want to do again. That's tough to do, especially when you're good at it. And I think that Willie Taggart's a good coach. I think he just needs a little bit more experience in that with it, and it obviously shows, and probably a better situation. I don't necessarily know that Florida State was the best scenario for a coach like him. So now the question is where does Florida State sit? When I look at this, I look at the Florida State coaching job, and I look at it as this. It's the top 10 job in the country. It might be one of those jobs to where you're in a volatile situation. There's definitely no doubt about that. You are in a situation where you need to win or you're gone. I mean, you listen to the athletic director, and he just said, fact of the matter is now was the best time than ever to get rid of Willie. And he even states, he goes, 6-6 isn't good enough. And for Florida State, 6-6 isn't good enough. When you have the tradition there that they have there with winning football, you need to win. And so this probably was right for them to part ways, to get this thing just to, rip the bandage right off and just be done with it. It's probably the best thing. So when I'm looking at this job, it's definitely a top 10 job. Why? Because you are set up to win championships there. Like I said before, if the boosters are ponying up $17 million to just get rid of a guy, that they've got the pockets, that they got the money to get you all of the resources that you need to put together the team that you need. Now, the question is this something worth a risk? Well, you're going to make money doing it. So, if you're a coach that's wanting that top tier and wanting to win national championships, this is a place that you can go and in the current college football setting win championships. The fact of the matter is that you've got name recognition and you've got personnel that can be on par with, the big boys. We're talking about our Oklahomas, we're talking about our Ohio States, we're talking about our SEC power teams, we're talking about Clemson. And the fact of the matter, now granted, you're on the same side as Clemson when it comes to the ACC. But the situation that you have, is you have it really set up nice in the ACC, especially with the ACC landscape that it is the way that it is. That you can, come in, fix some things, and really make it work. And if they can, whoever it is, they can go out and they can find a quarterback. Get them a quarterback. I say go out and recruit you a couple of 4-star guys. Go out and pick you up maybe a guy or two out of the transfer portal, because I'm telling you that there are going to be guys like Joe Burrow and Shane Buechele and guys like that. Your Jalen Hurts, all that. There are going to be guys that are going to be available, and let me tell you, you're going to be able to bring them to Florida State, especially if you've got an offensive-minded coach in there. So you do that. I think that you turn this team around, you can easily get back to 8 wins. Now, line's a mess, and you need discipline. So that brings me to my next question: who is going to be the guy that you're going to bring in that's going to do that for you? And I've seen all sorts of different things. And yes, I think that possibly the man to do it could be Stoops. But it definitely ain't going to be Bob Stoops. Why am I saying that it's not going to be Bob Stoops? Just the fact of the matter is, why did Bob Stoops take the job as coaching the XFL? I don't think he wants a big-time coaching responsibility job right now. I think he wants to coach football. He wants to get back into it, but he wants to get back into it on his terms and not have all of that pressures that's there. Bob Stoops wants to bring back football that's fun to him. I don't think he wants to get into a pressure cooker like what Florida State is going to be. He just isn't going to. Urban Meyer, same way. He's not going to want to mess with Florida State. Now, who knows? He might be waiting out for the USC job. People are saying that. I don't know. I'm a Buckeye fan. I really don't want to see him going to another college school. I just kind of want him to ride off in the sunset or coach my Cowboys. I'm okay with that too. But I don't see Urban Meyer going anywhere near this job. So, as we look at the coaching carousel, what kind of names are coming up? Well, there's a few of them that come to mind. First thing is you got Lane Kiffin. I don't know if they'll go after a guy like Lane Kiffin. I know he's kind of thrown his hat in the ring, so to say. I don't know. I think he's done a really good job at FIA and Florida Atlantic, I think that he's definitely a polarizing guy. I think he could possibly fit there if the guys really want him at Florida State. Like I said, he's kind of already got the ties with Kendall Briles and that, and so I think that would be a good fit to bring him back in there. He's been at power. He's been at elite levels before. Now, granted, he hasn't really excelled well there, but the guy's got some age on him now. He's not what he used to be with his youth and that, to where I think that he could be an advantage for them. I don't think that that's going to happen though, and I think that really what Florida State needs to do right now is I think they need to really go with a strong defensive minded coach, or one that really is kind of established that they can win and that they can come in and turn a program around. They really need structure in that program right now. I think they bring some structure. They can easily, with the talent that they have, bring in a quarterback, like I said, they can win 8 games, no problem. I don't even need to look at next year's schedule, and I know that they could win 8 games. That's just Florida State and what they are. And I think really within 2-3 years, they're back to winning 10, 11 games a season. And competing back with where they need to be and that with it. Now, who are the coaches that I'm looking at? Well, the first one off of my tongue that I'm looking at is I'm looking at I'm looking at Matt Campbell, looking at him from Iowa State. He's done a great job there with 2 back-to-back 8-win seasons. They've gone to bowl games and that. He's completely turned that program around. So you know that guy is definitely somebody who can come in, turn the program around, and really get them back to winning ways. The problem is he's got about $6 million buyout, and I just don't know if Florida State's going to want to do that. And I don't really think that he's really their guy that they're looking at right now. But he would be one of the hot names if you were asking me with that. Another name, and again, I'm going back to the Stoops. The Stoops would be not Bob Stoops, but his brother Mark. Mark did a fantastic job. He's done a fantastic job when he's been at Kentucky. He's been at Kentucky now for probably he's been there for quite a while. And Florida State, he's already accustomed to Florida State. He's already been there before. He was the defensive coordinator for Jimbo Fisher there back right before they won the national championship. So, he was kind of part of building up that team, and I think that he would be a great addition to Florida State. And the fact of the matter is he understands fast-paced offense, and he knows how to run with those, to where if they kept a guy like Kendall Briles and brought in a quarterback and had a defensive-minded coach and really had this team disciplined, I really think that they could do things and turn things around really quick. Whether or not Mark Stoops is the kind of hire that they want to go with is really the question. But I think that he would be really received well there, I think, and I think that he would start winning for them early. The thing is I don't know if he would really get him back to that championship caliber, but who knows? Like I said, he's been duking it out with all of the big boys in the SEC, with Kentucky, and pulling out some winning seasons there in the SEC. So I've been fairly pleased with him, and I think he would be a great fit. Another name would be PJ Fleck. I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think he's kind of their type of guy, and I think he's still kind of a guy that's a little bit more he's kind of like a Willie Taggart, where had some success down in Group of 5, come up to kind of a lower Group of 5 and had some success. But you don't need a volatile situation like that again. You've kind of already gone down there. You don't need to give that back to people. So that's kind of one. That those are kind of some of my big picks. I think I would also throw out there Rule from Baylor. I think he's done a fantastic job bringing that program back up from the ashes from where Art Briles had left it when he was. He's done a great job there, and that he can rebuild a program that's in turmoil and all sorts of stuff with them having the issues with scholarships and that, and to do what they're doing and be undefeated this season, that says something. Whether or not they'll go after a guy like him, I don't know. Some more offensive guys, I think Mike Norvell would be a really, really good hire out of Memphis. He's just really built that Memphis program into really a Group of 5 juggernaut. And I think he would be a really, really, really good hire for them, and I think he would fit right into the mold that they're wanting to do with his high-powered offenses and that, and come in, and I think he could shake up the ACC with that. So there's just a few of my thoughts in that with those. Those are kind of a few of the guys that I kind of think would be good fits. So the question is what do you think, though? Do you like any of these picks? Do you not? Do you think that he was just unfairly fired? I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section. I really want to hear from you guys, see what you think. All right. Well, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.